Welcome back. This is episode 2, and we are going to be diving into TradingView on this episode. So, before you place a trade, you need to actually understand what you're looking at, and a chart is simply a visual representation of price movement over time. So every candlestick that I'm going to show you tells a story about buyers and sellers battling for control. So TradingView is a charting platform used by traders all around the world, and it allows us to view the charts, analyze the markets, draw your supply and demand zones, which I'm going to go over in another episode. Mark your trade ideas. In some cases, depend on your broker, you can place and manage the trades. So you need to think of TradingView as your map before you're going on the journey. So I'm just going to share my screen and we're going to dive straight into TradingView. Still getting used to these platforms. How are they? So we're going to share my screen and we need TradingView. Hopefully you can see it now. Yeah, right. So this is TradingView. Now this is a free platform. You can pay for subscriptions to this if you needed more indicators. If you were doing a deeper dive into the analysis. But to be honest, when you're a beginner, this is all you need. It's a free platform. You don't have to pay. You just need to create an account. So let me show you how you select your pairs first of all, and then we'll go into a little bit of detail about what is actually going on here and what these are called. I'm just going to turn that on airplane mode. Ooh. So on the right hand side on this little tab, if you just select that, this is your watch list. Well, this is my watch list. So you definitely won't need to be having all of these assets on your watch list at first, because that'll just be completely overwhelming. My suggestion would be to pick one or two and really get to grips with that pair, study it, analyze it, watch what it does, and then add on from there. And I wouldn't even be adding more pairs. I would literally stick to one or two. Until you actually understand and grasp trading, because it just becomes completely overwhelming. So these are your assets. So this is gold, I've got my metals, platinum, silver, I've got oil, my stocks, my forex pairs, and then at the bottom I've got futures and some digital assets there. So if you're wanting to add your own, you just select this little symbol here, this plus sign, and then you can add your symbols. So you've got all of your assets along the top here, your cryptos, your indices, your stocks, forex, futures, and then you'll have your metals as well. So you just search in this toolbar whatever it is you want. So if you wanted to do Japanese yen, you would just search it in there and then click add. Stocks here, you just click add and it'll then go into your watch list, which is on the right hand side. If it's not there when you open your chart, you just need to select that icon there and it just expands out. So at the top of your charts here, you've got your time frames, your indicators. You can add your alerts from here. This section is your bar replay, which is for your back testing, which we won't need to do that probably for a while, so just ignore that. But the main tabs are your time frames. So I'm a higher time frame trader. It's just I'm trying to really move into swing trading because it's less stressful. The less time I spend at these charts, it's the better for my psychology. I mean, I've been there and I've done it. I've got the t-shirt where you sit for hours and watch price movement, like on a lower time frame, like a 1 minute, 3 minute, 15 minute, 5 minute. It's a killer. It's not for me. I know a lot of traders who do who will trade at lower time frames, but as soon as I go into that lower time frame, there's so much noise and I get caught up in it. A revenge trade, it's not good for me. So I'm trying to be more of a swing trader. It requires more patience, but I'm learning still to every day be patient with it. So what I would do, it's called a top-down analysis. So I would start on a monthly view. Okay. So this is a monthly view of gold against the US dollar, right? So each candlestick, these are called candlesticks. So each candlestick represents 1 month's worth of price movement. So this is the current month. So this is June's price movement on gold. This one was May. That's April. That's March. And you can see at the bottom, can you see on the bottom tab here? It shows you the month and the year. So these candles, so this candle here is 1 whole month worth of price action. I'll delete that. There. When you zoom out, so we'll go to the weekly, so that's the weekly time frame. Every single one of these candles is 1 week worth of price action. So as you go down, sorry, this one. As you move down on your time frames, sorry, I just need to get this off. Now, as you move down your time frames, it's zooming out. So there's more candlesticks, a little bit more noise. So the next I would analyze is the daily. So I'd start with monthly, weekly, daily. And you can stretch your screen out by just holding down on the cursor at the bottom and then stretching it up or in on the side panel here. Just cleaning them up, my charts are a bit messy. So that's your daily time frame of price action. So each candlestick represents 1 day's worth of price action. If I'm wanting to get a sniper entry with one of my trades, I will go as low as the 4-hour. So it just tells a bit of a better story. I wouldn't really go any lower than that because then it just becomes noisy and a bit messy. So that's where I would stay and try and get a good entry on the 4-hourly time frame. Along the left-hand side here are your drawing tabs. So all of your drawing icons are along here. Your positioning tools. So if you're going to enter a long position, a short position. So a long position is a buy-in. So when you are wanting to enter a long, that means you're buying. When you're entering a short, that means you're selling. So if you've got a little bit of knowledge of the markets already, you might have heard the term a bull market or a bear market. So some people might say, oh, it's a bullish market. Gold tends to be a bullish market on a higher time frame. I'll show you now. So on the monthly here, I'll just zoom out so you can see. actually, we'll do the weekly. So when you zoom out onto the weekly, you can see that it's on an upwards movement, which means the buyers are in control. It's a bullish market. Right now, there's a pullback happening with gold, which means the sellers are in control at the moment. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because we'll do it on another episode. I just want to sort of get you used to the basics of TradingView. If you're wanting to have a little play about yourself, get yourself an account. It's free, you don't have to pay. And you can just have a little play about. So what I would suggest doing is opening your watch list, adding 1 or 2 pairs, looking at those pairs, practice zooming in and out, look at different time frames, go on your monthly, your weekly, your daily, and just get to grips with looking at the chart. So I remember when I very, very first started, there was a little video one of my mentors had done. This is the lady who I used to copy her trades. And it was only a 5-minute video. And it was just like how to navigate through TradingView. And I had to watch that on repeat over and over and over again, just until it got into my head because I was just so confused by looking at this chart. When I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, what is that? What am I looking at? I have no idea. But the more you practice and play about with it, you just become used to it and it becomes comfortable. The next episode, we are going to touch on, just stop sharing that, on how to actually place a trade. So what tools you need to use on TradingView, what positions you need to use, your risk to reward, how to take profits, how to break even. So we're going to touch on that on the next episode. So this was purely just for getting you used to TradingView, looking at the charts, reading them a little bit, add a couple of your pairs in, and that's pretty much it for this episode. I can waffle and I don't want to just keep waffling when there's nothing else to talk about. I just want to keep these videos quite short and sweet. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, just drop me a message and I'll be more than happy to help or answer any questions. And I will see you in the next episode.